Rest in peace to Volletta Wallace. Volletta Wallace, known as Biggie's mom, passed at the age of 72. Um, it's very sad because she was on a crusade for justice for her son, and it never happened. Um, we still don't know. Even though Diddy's locked up, we don't know. We don't know. And it never came to be. And it's got to be one of the hardest situations for a parent to lose their child. You know, the psychological warfare, the anger, the tension. And she was very upset with Diddy. Um, we going to talk about the bad deals and everything like that. We'll never know how she felt about Faith Evans. Now, I'm going to say this. Her son, Christopher Wallace, a.k.a. Biggie Smalls, was huge. And not only his career in a short, brief time, he was a dominant presence. He brought the East Coast back. And he made bad boy records. Don't get it twisted. Diddy was the selling it in the window, but Biggie was the root, you know. I equate B.I.G. making Bad Boy Dynasty kind of like how I equate Herschel Walker making the Dallas Cowboys a dynasty, because all the trades off that they got for him, you saw what the Cowboys did in the 90s because of that one trade, that plant. That's why I call like the Kunta Kinte the roots plant. That one branch changed fortunes, and Biggie was that one. He was the face that built Bad Boy. Him and Craig Mack was signed at the same time, but Biggie put his print down, and he was bringing it. You know, he had two big time records amongst the living, and in his next life, past, records have still sold. But he also had a big hand in Diddy's career, big hand in Mace's career. Faith Evans was the first lady of Bad Boy. Biggie was making songs that connected, you know, and he connected. And of course, he helped out 112. And then on Undies with him and Lanson Rivera, Little Kim and Junior Mafia. He had his hands and fingers in a lot of pies. He was a very entrepreneur dude, but he was signed to Diddy and Clive Davis and all that. And you never get the totality of everything. And it's so unfortunate because even though there was that movie that came out, which was half-hearted, by the way. I mean, I'll say this, it's better than anything that's on Lifetime channel, but it ain't saying a lot. It was a watered-down movie. Just like the Tupac movie was watered down. You could tell it was very industry one-sided, you know. But the thing is, it's sad because she never got justice for her son. It's sad. You know, imagine just like a Afeni Shakur. You know, people get excited because of the artistry. But what happens when people have to mourn that you don't see? There's no justice. There's no justice for Biggie. There was no justice for Tupac. There was no justice for Michael Jackson. There was no justice for Whitney Houston. You know, and that's a sad reality. Especially when parents have to go through that, you know, to see that totality. And no one, you know, speaks up or says anything or know anything. Because we're talking almost, we're talking 30 plus years. And remember, his songs were licensed on commercials and movies and soundtracks, and they made hand over fist, you know. But no one ever told the truth, and so it's a sad state of affairs that she never got justice for her son, because we don't even know how things, and it's sad. It's really sad. That is the most troubling part of it. And as someone who was around watching all this unfold with Bad Boy and watching all the stuff that went down, East Coast, West Coast, all that nonsense, that industry plant-based, the sellouts that were involved in all that mess, and I said that because you know what? It never should come to that. There is plenty of money and room to go along and around. You should never, But I remember something Ice Cube said. He said, they'll stay away from the morgues of Interscope Records and the morgues of Arista Records. And that's the facts. Because all they do is cash checks. And no one's got no answers for nothing. And this is really sad. She a very strong woman and prideful woman. And she will be missed. She was only 72. So, it's a very sad situation. And I want to send thoughts and prayers to the remains of the Wallace family and people impacted who knew her, because there's nothing worse. Not only losing your child however, not having justice. That's a double bad combination. All the money and everything that you see, it really doesn't make sense. So those are my thoughts and takes with that. And she was very strong, very educated. Uh, um, she was from the islands, and she was a very deep soul, very profound. Yeah. And we'll remember her, how strong she was. And she was forthright. All right. I'm out. Peace.